Hi and welcome to MOY 1020 with myself, Marcus Ridge, and today's guest is Gareth Haggett.
Yeah,
Hi,
good morning,
Gareth.
Marcus.
I'm very good, Gareth. Yourself?
Not too bad, thank you. Weather's fine again.
That's great. So let's get started then. So can you introduce Gareth Haggett?
Yeah, sure. I'm a Brit, lived in Germany since 1996. I've worked in the battery industry since 1994. I used to work for Energizer Rechargeable in Stoke-on-Trent in the UK, and it was Energizer who moved me to Germany in 1996. I joined SAFT in August of 2018, where I've specialized in the data center industry, UPS batteries for data centers.
Superb. So it seems like you've been around for a while then. So who are SAF batteries then?
SAFT is a 102-year-old now, I guess, industrial battery company specializing in very long-lived industrial batteries, particularly nickel cadmium, for around 100 years and large format lithium-ion for about 30 years. We're part of Total Energies for 6-7 years now. So yeah, we're growing quite strongly and with a real focus on industrial batteries.
One of those sectors that we're talking about today is the DC market. So how is the DC market for batteries?
It's typically dominated by VRLA, so valve-regulated lead-acid batteries. But that's changing. In the USA, around 40% of new built data centers have already switched to lithium-ion. In the EU, it's probably, or in Europe as well, including the UK, it's less than 10%, but it is growing. And the main drivers for that are reduction of CO2, improvement of energy efficiency, reduction of the amount of electricity being used, really important right now, and also the TCO reduction.
So you mentioned other sectors that you're working. So how do you compare the data center sector to the other sectors that you work in?
Quite disappointing, to be honest. There's a lack of innovation. It's been very difficult to displace lead acid batteries, an old, dirty, poisonous technology. We think about lithium ion, TCO reduction. It's really important. But you have a lot of players, designers, planners in the market who just do copy and paste of really, really old 10, 20, 30-year-old data center designs, and they're all the same. So this is the key where we're trying to work on now, is to work with those people at the new standards, the new PUE, WE, CUE standards coming through to make sure that we can make the world a better place for everyone. And it starts by reducing the energy, reducing CO2.
Superb. So we look at the regions that's going on at the moment, like flat region. Where do you see the next hotbed for data centers in the EMA region?
Poland, probably. There's a lot of good new large data centers being put into Poland. It's a growth country. You mentioned FLAP already, and if you think about the moratoriums going on in Dublin, Amsterdam, possibly Frankfurt, they're also struggling to get you connected to the network here. So Poland is probably one of the main growth areas in EMEA. We were obviously starting to see growth in Russia and Ukraine. That's on hold at the moment. But yeah, I guess that Eastern Europe area is what's going to kick off.
Oh, that's good to hear. So why do you enjoy the data center sector?
It's quite an informal market. There's almost nobody anywhere in any of the events we go to wearing a tie. So it's quite interesting in that respect. And if you know your different languages, when you speak to people, you're very quickly Pedu or whatever. So it's very informal in the communications with people. But it's an exciting application. Batteries themselves are boring, but batteries become interesting when they go into an interesting application.
Superb. You mentioned data center exhibitions there that you get around to see them. So what's your favorite data center exhibition in the calendar year?
It's probably Ireland, Data Centers Ireland in Dublin. It's a small exhibition, but it's very focused. There's a lot of good people talking there. The forums are good. And it's really, really small and focused. Obviously, there's a good crack in the evening with a lot of people around that you can have talked to and get access to. DCW, Frankfurt, Paris, London, less so. They are a little bit lost in focus. There's too much of cloud, other stuff going on. They're not as focused.
Superb. Now, we've got a good relationship that we built up over the years from attending exhibitions. How important is it to have a relationship in the DC sector from outside your industry?
I would say it's absolutely essential. Some of the things, when you're selling a battery, 90% of the battery sales go through an OEM. So an original equipment manufacturer of a UPS, whether it be Pillar, Socomec, or the other usual suspects. So you have to have those relationships with them, and we deal with them outside the data center industry as well. So one of our largest customers in Europe is probably Le Grand Bory, but for nickel cadmium batteries. So we're working with them as well to introduce lithium ion.
Superb. So we're coming towards the end now. So what's next for Gareth and SAF Batteries?
Right now, I'm working on a very large digitalization project for a rail infrastructure system, and there are 50 data centers included in that particular project. It's Germany's largest ever rail infrastructure project, and it's all going digital. So it's really, really exciting. I said before, batteries are boring, but the applications are interesting. So that's really, really exciting project to be working on.
That sounds great. So my favorite question now, what's your favorite cheese?
Obviously, as a Brit, you're expecting the traditional answer, which would be a cheddar, a Cheshire, a Stilton, something like that. No, it's probably a Gruyere.
Okay, and where's that from?
Switzerland.
Switzerland. I've not come across that, so I have to put that on my list to try later.
Oh, you need to try it. You can eat it on its own. It's really good for gratin, for melting on the top of something. Definitely to be recommended.
That's fantastic. Well, Gareth, thank you for your time today. It's been great chatting. I shall leave you alone now and let you get on for the rest of your day. Please join us for the next episode of MOY 1020 in April. I look forward to catching you all in April. Many thanks.
Thanks a lot, Marcus. Goodbye.